Hello and welcome. Happy Monday, and it's supposed to be the first day of the week, which it's the next day of the week in my book. Anyway, a few things today. We're going to work with Joe Morello's Stone Killer. And I got quite a few emails this weekend, which was good. And that's what I like. Everybody addressing not problems, but uncertainty. And I'm glad that I can help. And what I'm going to select today is, I had 3 emails pertaining to the same subject, which were time signatures. And I really never addressed different time signatures like 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 7, 4, 9, 4, and 3, 8, 6, 8, 7, 8, so on and so forth, or 5, 16, 3, 16. And we're going to address some of them today. But what I want to first start out with is the Stone Killer. Now, if you're going to frequent this platform, live lessons, the streaming, you want to get yourself some books. Number 1, the stick control book, without a doubt. Number 2, the syncopation book. Number 3, Joe Morello's Master Studies, and Gary Shafee's, all 4 books, okay? All 4 of his books, patterns, technique, so it's fingering and whatever. Good afternoon there, James. I received quite a few emails, and one which was, I got 3 of the same subject, so that's what I'm going to address in the course of today, is time signatures. But if, I'm going to get into detail with different time signatures, if time permitting, but I'm going to put a chart and send everybody a chart on definitions. And what makes me really happy is that, you guys really want to learn the language, and it should be universal. All right, I get all kinds of different explanations of what 4/4 means, what common time means. Oh, hello, Ed, and hello, Jim. So, like I said, the books that you would need if you're going to frequent the platform would be the books I mentioned, the stick control book, the syncopation book, Joe Morello's Master Studies 1 and 2, and all of Gary Shafee's patterns. Plus, yes, my book. Not my book, but it's a workbook I put together for the online students. Okay? It's Matt Patella's Live Lessons Workbook number 1. Okay? And I'm working on number 2. Number 2 is going to be, I don't know if I'm going to make it 180 pages, but maybe I make it over 280 pages. I don't know yet. Well, there's the books that I mentioned, you can go to Amazon, okay, and you could order them through Amazon. You could also order, I have 4 different publications: Reading Text in 4/4, Reading Text in 6/8, Rudimental Patterns, and Ostinato Patterns. There's 4 books on Amazon that you can get through Amazon, plus the other books I just mentioned: Stick Control book, Joe Morello's The Table of Time, Syncopation, and Gary Shafee's Pattern Series. Okay, so we got that all taken out of the way, and if you're late, I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to be mean today. 1 p.m. is the lesson. I was just warming up for a few seconds here. But do you guys, who doesn't have Master Studies 1 by Joe? Jim, do you have that? And Ed, I know you have it. I don't know if there's a package. You have to buy them one at a time. Who's that? Peter, how you doing? You can support your local stores, but people who haven't been going to their local stores and they've been doing their shopping on the computer. How are you, Pete? Okay, so we have a couple guys in here. We're going to work with Joe Morello's uh, Stone Killer. Now, I like the way he presents this in here as a triangle. You know, when I studied with Joe, it was 4-measure vamps, you know, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, and he'd take these at tempos that were unbelievable, unhuman. And he just very loosely did it. And he explained how he got his tension-free drumming, you know, allowing the stick to do what it's supposed to do. Okay, anyway, now, he starts off with a simple eighth note pattern, and he puts it in 1 measure, in 4/4. He splits up the vamp. Instead of doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and he breaks it up to 4 rights and 4 lefts, which become 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, you could take that to any tempo you want. The object here, I'm going to put it on 140, and I'm just going to do it for a little bit. In half stroke, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the reason why he did that, he wants you to feel that and develop your endurance slowly. Okay? The next measure is a 2-measure phrase. It's 1 measure of eighth notes with the right hand, 1 measure of eighth notes with the left hand. So he extends it. So by you working on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for a while, your hands should be loose, and you're going to go to 1 measure of eighth notes with the right, 1 measure of eighth notes with the left. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, so on and so forth. So you put both of them together. You do line by line. The first line and the second line of the Stone Killer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So on and so forth. All right, do we understand this so far? And you should have the book. We go to the third line, and he extends it 1 more beat. Instead of 4/4 time, it's 5/4 time. What does 5/4 time mean for those who don't know? Well, there's not a trick, but a method that usually drum teachers use. The top number is going to indicate the number of beats per measure. So if I'm in 5/4, it's going to be 5 beats per measure. I'm going to play quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, measure. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I just played in 5/4. If I'm playing from 4/4 to 5/4, I have 1 and 2 and 3, now 5. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And 1 back to 4, 3 and 4, 5. 1 and 2 and 4 and 5. And so I'm just extending it 1 more beat. So we have 4/4 and 5/4. If I'm playing, I'm not going to demonstrate that on the drum set. Well, that's actually 6/4 he's going to. I'm sorry. I thought it was 5/4. All right, 6/4 means 6 beats per measure. All right, 6 beats per measure. So if I have 4/4, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That means there's 4 beats to a measure, and each quarter note receives the beat. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go to 5/4 like I just demonstrated, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go to 6/4, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I just demonstrated, what is this? What's both? You have you have 4/4, 5/4, and 6/4. So we're on the third line, and this is actually page 55 of the Stone Killer. The third line. He's going 6/4, so he's got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and. Okay, now he's actually growing. All right, from the first line, he gives you 4 rights, 4 lefts. The second line, 8 rights, 8 lefts. The sixth line, the third line rather, which is 6/4, he's giving you 12 rights and 12 lefts. And then when he goes to the last line of the triangle, he's giving you 16 rights and 16 lefts. And we're all within those 4, the common denominator there is 4. It's 4/4, 6/4, and 4/4. Do we understand that? Jim, I don't know what you're talking about there, Jim. Well, it's not easy because we're in the same mode here. 4/4, 3/4, 2/4. But now we're going to get in, that's odd and even time signatures. We get into an odd time signature like 5/8. Wow. And 7/8, and we make the transition from 7/8 to 4/4. Something entirely different happens. So this is very basic and commonplace. 4/4, 2/4, 3/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4. All right, we're going to go on to the last line of the triangle, which is 16 rights and 16 lefts. It's 2-measure increment of 4 of eighth notes, which in 4 with the right, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that takes care of the right. Then the left, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and. Okay, now I'm going to take it from the first line. I'm not going to repeat any lines. I'm taking the first Stone Killer Part 1, page 56, section 1. I'm going to play the line one time. The first line, second line, third line, and fourth line. When I get to the fourth line, I'm going to go back to the top. You could do it as an inversion, but let's not do that yet. Let's take the last line and go back to the first line. Now, you want me to do this slow, or you want me to at 140? Is that okay with everybody? I do need an answer for that one. No, I don't play 50 reps to the line. I mean, you know, it's just like, you can do that if that's what you want to do. All right, what I do, I don't do 50 reps. I like to make the transition. You know, first I've been playing 1,000 years, so my hands are loose. But, you know, depending on how long you've been playing and how loose your hands are. If you want to do, I put a timer on, okay? And if you want to do this, you could do line 1 at whatever tempo you decide, and line 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Say put the metric, the timer on for 10 minutes and keep it at one tempo. But that's not the object in the beginning, okay? I mean, once you understand how it flows and your hands feel good, then you could approach something like that. It's like an endurance kind of thing. You're developing your endurance to play eighth notes for 10 minutes. Now, for those who have gigs, they're playing, say, not cover tunes, but some rock tunes, which will usually last for 4, 5, 6 minutes, and you want to keep doing it maybe 10 minutes. So you're developing that kind of endurance. Now, the way I do it, I don't say 50 reps. I get lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 39, 3, 4. That's a bit much. So I just keep a timer on, and I'll keep my eye on the timer. I'll listen to the metronome, and I'm playing the line. So I say, okay, I've got 10 minutes. I'm going to do 5 lines. So the first line I'm going to do for 2 minutes. The third line, 2 minutes. Fourth line, 2 minutes. Fifth line, 2 minutes. 5 lines, 2 minutes is 10 minutes. Well, what's fast? I see fast as a different mental attitude. Eighth notes. First, let me, you want to hear it a little up-tempo? Let me put it on 208. All right. Now, that's just an eighth note vamp. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play it through. 3, 4. Sorry, I made a mistake. Start again. I keep doing that in 4 instead of 6. But it don't make a difference if it's fast or slow. That's not the objective. The objective is to develop your endurance. Actually, to play it slower takes more endurance than to play it faster. Faster, your mind has to be in tune. It's hard for me to do it fast right now, only because I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next, explain what I'm going to do next, and tell you what I'm going to tell you next. And watching the screen, keeping tempo with the metronome, and knowing where I'm at here. That's why I made that mistake on the third line. So, I'll play it for you later. Let's just relax with it right now and take it with the way he presents it. We'll go to 120. We'll reach a happy medium here. That's a nice tempo. And I'll just play. I'm not going to do this for 10 minutes. I'm going to do line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back to the top. Ready? 1, 2, 3, zap. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So on and so forth. And you feel good. It's 120 is no chump change here, man. If you're doing it for 10 minutes, that's to stay in the pocket, man, to stay there. James, I respect the fact that you want to, from being slow to fast. I really respect that. But, it's like these other online teachers, they have some good information which they project. But I've noticed that, the ego thing is happening most of the time. And they want to show everybody how fast they can play. Well, how fast can you play? Eventually you only could play so fast. Eventually it turns into a blur. It's not about developing speed here, it's about developing endurance. Now that's the first stone killer. If you want to hang out with one line all the time, that's fine. You want to hang out with whatever line you want for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. You want to develop a relaxation, a sense of you're not exerting a whole lot of energy when you're playing this. Your whole body has to be in tune to what you're playing. Now, any questions on Stone Killer Part 1, Section 1? Any questions, gentlemen? Because what I want to do is go to Section 4 and show you how it's related to the Section 1. I need questions, yes or no? Knock, knock. Okay. All right. Section number 4. Now, you often wonder, if you guys have been hanging out for a while and say, doing the stick control book, page 5, play the line, repeat the line, and vamp. What's the purpose of vamping? Yeah. The purpose of vamping, it's multiple purposes. Okay? If I'm just doing a vamp, either hand, if I do 16th notes, and I'm going to play my left hand on my leg while I'm doing 16ths. 1, 2. Now watch the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 16ths. The vamp is a half of 16th note singles. Man, I'm having some issues with my left hand today. I'm starting to get a little bit of an arthritis feeling, old age shit. And I still have that issue with straightening my hand out. You have no questions, Ed? I didn't think you would. But if you practice this correctly, or the way he recommends to practice this, you will develop your endurance. It's like anything else, and the issue does come up here, using a heavier stick when you practice on a drum pad, or the stick that you play with use on the drum pad. Well, either or don't really matter. I like to use just a bit heavier stick on the drum pad, and let me tell you why. I don't know if anybody's here into physical fitness and jogging or walking or whatever. But for example, if you're a jogger, the two issues are going to happen here. I'm going to first explain the issue with weight ankles. If you have weight ankles and you start jogging, it's a lot of load on your leg there, and you're really developing the muscles. All right, and then when you take the ankle weights off, man, you feel like you're Superman and you could run the marathon. But the reason why I do use heavy sticks, because I want to work out a little bit. I want that kind of concept. But it's okay if you use just regular sticks that you play with on the drum set too. There's not controversies, but it's a matter of what's better for you, what works for you. Okay? Do we understand that? Now, are we all on page 56, Section 4 of the Stone Killer? And I don't want to go further with that until I know that you gentlemen are on that. Do we all have the Morello book? That's number 1. It's a chore to write all this stuff down, and there's a copyright infringement involved as well. I try to do my best to give everybody the best. Be one of you guys, All right. Anyway, hopefully I can get to writing some PDFs out for this evening. This evening we're going to address different time signatures. I don't want to get too involved as far as making the transition from, say, 4/4 to 7/8, or 4/4 to 5/8, or 5/8 to 7/8. No questions. All right, good. All right, so now let me just try to talk a little bit about different time signatures, which are pretty common. You know, the most common time signature used in American music, now notice I said American music, is 4/4 time, 2/4 time, and sometimes 4/4 is represented with a C, which means common time. And sometimes, as you see in the stick control book, a C with a line through it, which means cut time. Now, I don't want to talk about cut time right now. So we're going to talk about, say, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 5/4. How's that, guys? Is that all right? Now, let's talk first about 2/4. 2/4, what does that mean? It's simple. You follow the rules of the definition. 2/4 means there's 2 beats to a measure. Now, I'm just going to play my bass drum, and I'm not going to use the hi-hat. I'm just going to play 2 beats to a measure. 1, 2, 1, 2. Every time I count to 2, 2 quarter notes. 1, 2, measure. 1, 2. I'm in 2/4. Now, if I'm on top, 1, 2, 1, 2. Eighth notes, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and do triplets, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 16ths. Now I don't want to get into groupings of 5s or 6s because subdivision comes into view. We don't want to deal with that right now. In 2/4, you probably played it anyway and you didn't realize it. Whoever was in the band that played a wedding, a polka band, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and pop. And a lot of marches are written in 2/4. The cadences, 1 and 2. Okay? That takes a little bit about 2/4. 4/4 is a very commonplace in American music. You always listen to a pop tune or one that's on the charts, and it's always, and I refer to this as the money beat. It's 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Commonplace, 4/4, common time. And again, if you want to do a little bit of your table of time from the Morello book, is written in 4/4. All right, so that gives you most of the possibilities, up to groupings of 12. Now 5/4, and I wasn't really, when I first started, I was all confused with all these time signatures. I started out with the Haskell book in 2/4, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom. That thing, you know, and the NARD book, the National Association of Rudimental Drummers, in 2/4. Now, let's go to 5/4. And I'm saying, well, what could be the difference between, oh no, we didn't play 3/4. I apologize. 3/4, it's simple. And you guys probably played it and heard it a lot. 3 beats to a measure. Each quarter note receives 1 counter, 1 beat. I'm in 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Every three quarter notes is a measure. I could play eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3. I just played 2 measures of eighth notes in 3/4. My count for that, and I'm gonna try to put that out on a PDF of counting systems in 4/4, 6/8, 9/8, so on and so forth. Okay? Now 5/4 is a little, not strange. There's 5 beats to a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 measures. Now, actually, the first time I really came across 5/4 was Joe Morello as Dave Brubeck's Take 5. And the term ostinato and how he places the left foot in 5/4. And it's a simple pattern, but it's kind of strange to play over that because everybody's used to playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you tag an extra beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So it's just an extra quarter note from 4/4. But the way it swings, it's an ostinato pattern, 5/4 that I've learned from Take 5. The bass drum don't have to be consistent, but in the beginning you should have it consistent. I try to play quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, see? And then I'm playing my ride cymbal, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it gets a little strange because you're playing 4/4 heel and toe with the left foot, 1, 2, 3, 4, heel, toe, heel, toe. When I played, it's to be constant as an ostinato pattern and to kind of embellish off the feel or improvise off the 5. My hi-hat is heel, toe. So my heel's on 1, my toe's on 2. My heel's on 3, my toe's on 4. Then my heel again on 5. And then 1 with the heel again. So if I played it up a little bit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just covering it surfacely, but I will get in depth, maybe tonight, and review the Stone Killer again, and get in depth. Yeah, I will get in depth a little bit with the odd time signatures, and we'll talk about them. I can't promise you by tonight you're going to have PDFs. I can't promise that to you. I will try. Okay? Now, hopefully some of the lesson here today helps you somewhat, okay? And, the questions coming through email is great. It really is. Kind of, if you can, let's continue that. And also, populate the chat with questions because that interacts the other drummers that are here. Hey, Pete, does that help you out somewhat? I mean, I know that you know, and I know Ed knows, and you guys are at, you've been playing for quite a while. And James, I hope you know because you haven't been playing as long as the gentlemen have. It's not that easy. It just takes, for example, besides 5/4, there's a lot of other tunes that are written in 5/4, like what the hell's that? Bump, 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 bump. Mission Impossible theme is in 5/4, and Morello does that. Bump, 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 bump. 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. But one really nice, for me anyway, pattern or ostinato, which I totally enjoy. And it was inspired to me by Max Roach, and everybody who listens to it, when he played, the drums also waltz. Okay? It's an ostinato, bass drum, hi-hat, rest. Bass drum, hi-hat, rest. And the top, he phrases and he improvises. And I was just like, I'd practice to that. I'd do vamps to that. 16th notes for 10 minutes to that. Paradiddle diddle, so on and so, whatever I can do, and I hear, and whatever doors open up for me, boom, I would do it. And finally, I try to put something together, have a little fun with it, and phrase it with 4-measure phrases or 2-measure phrases from that tune. I think it's a great tune. I do the same thing with 5/4, but honestly, okay, I really like that 3-4 drums, also waltz. And what I'll do, I'll explain it a little bit, and then I'll play it a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, bass drum, hi-hat, rest. 1, 2, 3, bass drum, hi-hat, rest. Bass drum, hi-hat, rest. 1, 2, 3. Now, 3, it shouldn't have been on 3, sorry. So what I'll do, 1, 2, 3. Simple. 1. I could go on and on for 20, 30 minutes, but I don't have that time right now to stream. But anyway, it's just a fun thing to do, and you know, you're really having a good time with it. Maybe I'll write out some figures from that. I put out a video, Matt also waltzes. You know, have fun with it. Okay, before I sign off, gentlemen, any questions? I will be back this evening, 7 p.m. And for those, like I said, who are going to frequent this platform, come and visit me 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. 4 days a week, you should really purchase those books. I've been sending PDFs out for the lessons, and that takes a tremendous amount of time. It really does. Well, come back tonight, Pete, and you know we're going to do the same thing again, just about, but a little bit more in depth with the time signatures. Okay? Any questions, gentlemen, before I sign off? Okay, we have Pete, Jim, and Ed. There's a couple of other guys in here. Nobody wants to get on in the chat. I don't know. There's no shame in being here. Hopefully, you know, if you're a seasoned player, that's a great thing because you can contribute to this. And it never hurts to revisit what you already know, to reassure maybe that, you know, you're doing it correctly or a new way. It's simple. Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to sign off. No questions. All right, gentlemen? See everybody tonight at 7. Have a good night. Day, rather.